Welcome, Walnut. I'm Lara, but you can call me Laz, your host for Walnut Wednesday. This is your reminder to be brave, be yourself, and know that you can make the world a better place just by what you decide today. Here, I'm going to share my weekly walnuttings with you on a Wednesday. Hello, Walnut. It is me, Laz, here for another episode of Walnut Wednesday. I hope you've been having a wonderful week. How are you? We are in the late 80s of Walnut Wednesday, the podcast. So just before I start, I want to thank you for your time, for being here. If you've listened to all the episodes or if this is the first time you're meeting me, hello, welcome. I appreciate you being here. So I want to hear from you. So let me know. Let's be friends on all the things at Walnut Wednesday, or join my Facebook group, The Walnut Tree, for chit chats and lovely discussion, because I want to know that you're here, and I want to hear from you and what you think about all the things. So welcome, thank you, I love you. My walnutting this week, Walnut, comes from I've had to have recently some courageous conversations and be really honest with people, like in the workplace and at home as well. And so I don't want to share the actual example of what happened, because you know that I don't like to tell the stories if it's involving people other than myself, because it's not fair. But I just wanted to kind of share how courageous conversations make me feel, and a couple of tips that I've picked up along the way in terms of having them, because I am a person who has never really been good at holding myself in debates or arguments. And I used to always blame that on my having a bad memory and not being very good on the spot. And even smaller example of this, Walnut, is, and let me know if you do this, because I've got a couple of friends who agree, but when you get a phone call, I get like, it's not even an anxiety, but I would rather like pretend I haven't seen the phone call and then wait till it stops ringing and then like just get a text. So you can just think about what you want to say. I'm just no good at on the spot. And the reason, and that's why having hard conversations does scare me a little bit, because what if I get kind of called out and I'm not kind of like prepared for it, if that makes any sense. So over the years, because I've been in a couple of like leadershipy manager positions, I have picked up a couple of tricks along the way, because when you are looking after people, you do have to have those conversations sometimes. And I think that's also helped me, using a couple of these little tips with like creating boundaries with friends as well. But yeah, so the main 4 points for having tough conversations are to let the person know why you're having the discussion. And this is what's helped me kind of semi-prepare to have one, so that I don't get caught off guard. So if you just remember these 4 points when you're having them, and that can be like in the workplace, a friend place, home, with anybody that you're interacting with, where you kind of have to give a little bit of tough love or like a hard truth. This is what sort of helped me. So, and then I'll go into my walnutting about what I did. So number 1 is to know why you're having the conversation. You can either let the person know the why before you begin, or you can just know it yourself. Get really clear on why it's important to discuss this. The second thing is to know, for the person that you're talking to know what's expected of them, what you expect of them, then what they think they could do about it, and then where to from here. So I kind of was with another person when I had my walnutting this week. So this weekend I had to have a confrontational conversation because someone was behaving not in a in an appropriate way, and it just needed to be said. It was time to be said. And I was having this conversation with somebody who was really fired up about it, and their reasons were all very valid and understanding, and I could understand why they were fired up, but I was also the relaxed person of that. So I think we both did need to be there to have this, I guess you could call it an intervention, to be there to have that discussion, because we had the fire and the passion, and then we had the me who was a little bit of the reason, or the person that could kind of go back on path when we were going down the fiery burning passion storytelling, which and just pull it back to the reason why we were having the conversation. So it was actually quite constructive to have two different personalities in the, I'm going to call it intervention, but it was actually a conversation. So yeah, there were two of us, and the person who was really fired up and feeling really heated wanted to go do it then and there. It was late at night and stuff like that, and I said that we'll sleep on it and we'll talk about it in the morning, because we'd had a few drinkies as well. There's all that kind of stuff involved. Yeah, but in the morning the other person woke up really early and was like, let's go do it now. So I don't know if that person got a wink of sleep at all. They were just stewing, and so I was just okay, we need to just go and do this. And maybe my idea of sleeping on it was also a little bit, I'll be A for accountability here, maybe I was putting it off a little bit. I wanted to think about what I wanted to say, and I was really scared about having this conversation. And I don't know, I get scared of letting people down. I get scared of getting confronted. And I'm one of those people, when I have conversations, not even tough love ones, just normal ones, that will go back and have a shower and think of all the other things that I could have possibly said. I'm a dread person who always thinks of the other things that I could have said or could have done. So I don't know why. That's just how I am. Let me know if you're the same or not. But yeah, so we went and had the chat, and I came from it. I guess my walnutting this week is I took a kind of bird's eye mediator approach to a conversation, rather than thinking, I'm just thinking it's so interesting now, because with that voice thing, how I mentioned in episode 80 with Kate, how I kind of used her to help me with my voice and my opinion, and I used her voice and the way she likes to say things and kind of mediated that. This walnutting from this weekend is kind of similar. I had the passionate person with the examples all there, and I was there as the structure or the mediator to bring everyone's perspectives back to the main why point. Oh, that's exciting. Yeah, so I guess I kind of looked at it from that kind of point of view, because I could feel that there would be two head-butty conversations, because there would be a lot of digressing and storytelling and other examples and going off into oblivion on how everybody feels, which is great, but also we need to take it back to the reason why we were having that conversation in the first place. Walnut, I realize how ambiguous and martyry that this whole thing sounds, because I can't actually give you a specific example, but let me know if this makes sense. I hope you can kind of resonate with what I'm trying to say here. But I was really scared to have this conversation, and I think it's harder as well when it's someone that you're close with, or someone older than you, or someone in a role that's above yours, because or family, because you think, you get that little bully demon, right? You get that little imposter syndrome, who the hell am I to think that I have the right to say this to this person who's quote unquote above me? So I'm proud of myself that I followed through and said that we would have that conversation, and we did, and it actually turned out really, really constructive. It did dilly-dally a little bit, and then it was, okay, where to from here? What do you think you should do? Here's what we think is a good start, but it's up to you to think of what you can do. And so we kind of left it at that, but it was a real breath of fresh air to have that conversation, because we were jumping to conclusions, thinking this person's going to be mad forever. This person is quite stubborn as well, and I am stubborn as well, and the other third person was stubborn too. So stubbornness can lead to, if you're not willing to actively listen, or to receive feedback, stubbornness can lead to whole families breaking apart, friends, people not liking each other and things like that. But if you're not open to taking on something that's gonna sting a little bit, walnut, that's a good way to stay in the life of a peanut, because if you're not growing, you're dying. Essentially, because we can all use feedback from time to time. And a really fun exercise that you could actually do, Walnut, and it's really interesting for a person who does feel a little bit peanutty. And if you're listening, you're not a peanut, do not worry. You might feel like one, but you're not. But for someone who is feeling a little bit peanutty, one thing I did really early on in my walnut journey, and I think this was actually before I even started the podcast, was I believe it was homework for a program I did. But ask 30 people your top 3 qualities. And I was like, oh my God, okay. So I asked people really close, my first 3 work colleagues, my family, and that was maybe about 10. Got 10. I was like, oh my God, who the hell else can I ask? How awkward to ask, first of all. Why are we so comfortable with asking? And then getting it, how am I going to hold and receive this? And I ended up doing a question and answer on my Instagram. And yeah, it was humbling and it was lovely, and no one's going to write anything mean. So anyway, that's a little side note. But constructive conversations, Walnut. So I guess always coming back to why do you think it's important? Because there is a difference between giving constructive, tough, lovey. Those are the only words that are coming out, but I know that there's another word for it. Having those brave conversations, and just blindly giving your opinion about something and getting heated that way. So knowing the why, what you expect of that person, and you don't even have to have it structured out and say it like that. The reason why I'm having this conversation is what I expect from you is what do you think you can do. But just having those in your mind give you a little bit of a structure if you're a bit of a worrywart like me, and can lead to some really interesting discussions if people are receptive to that. And the worry that they won't be will come back down to the why, and that's when you can kind of say I need to have this talk with you because blah, and immediately it takes away any pointy finger blame game. It's actually coming from a constructive I don't know, I need to look at the dictionary for words of constructive, coming from a different place. So walnut, my walnutting this week is I had a really tough conversation with a person that was very near and dear to me. It was hard. It was sad. I felt guilty afterward because it was kind of I don't know, just kind of took the sheet from the person's eyes a little bit and just gave them a different perspective on seeing things. And I think in turn did make them feel a little bit sad after the conversation. But they took it really well. Said, point taken, this is what I'm going to do. But I'm feeling a bit emotional. It was hard. And those conversations are hard. And yeah, that is a walnutting, to be brave enough to actually have those conversations rather than let things slide, let them stew, let them snowball, and let them get bigger and bigger until you just resent a person or resent yourself for not saying anything. So nipping it in the bud, as my friend Jamie would say. Hello, Jamie Ray, if you're listening to this. But yeah, I walnutted this weekend and it was scary. It was really hard. It was really sad, but I did it. And this is your reminder, Walnut, to, if you have something that is festering, where can you begin? Why is it important to let it go? Or why is it important to you to keep it? You know, is it the easy way out just to not say anything and pick your battles and all that? Oh man, my last few podcasts are all kind of linking into one, aren't they? Oh, if you haven't listened to the other ones, go to episode 80 and then listen onwards, because they're all kind of linking in. But yeah, I'm starting to waffle now, Walnut. So yeah, knowing the why, expectations, and where to from here, rather than being a bossy, you did this pointy finger, is actually like a mutual constructive discussion point. But even just raising the conversation is brave as a walnutting. So with that, I will leave you to your Walnut Wednesday. I hope I haven't been too like ominous without saying the thing about the thing, but still saying the thing. But courageous conversations, they are important, and they are so valuable to friendships, families, life, being a walnut, the life of a walnut. So give it a go if there's one that you need to have, and share back, and let me know if you agree with these tips, or if you don't, or if you've got some other ones, because we could all use more feedback from time to time. And also let me know if you do the three things that people like about you kind of thing, and see what you get back. You'll be really surprised, Walnut. Anyway, I waffle. I am waffling some more. Thank you so much for being here, Walnut. I really appreciate your time. I appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed this episode, please share and tag me at Walnut Wednesday, and join my group so we can have more discussions like this. Let me know if you resonate. Let me know if you're feeling the feels. But have a wonderful week. Happy Walnut Wednesday. You are beautiful, you are sexy, and you are delicious, and I will talk to you next week. Bye.